Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Whoop, whoop. Warm-up 72 is on the screen. Once again, by this time, you should be able to do all four of them by yourself in no time. Is that correct? Yes, Mr. Q. All right. I'll give you guys some time. Copy and go. All right. Let's get the show on the road. Get the show on the road. All right. All right. Number one. To complete the square, by now we're experts, yes? So we take 7 divided by 2 and square it, yes? All right. But I said yesterday you just leave it like that whenever you have a number that becomes a decimal. And to factor it, I showed you a shortcut. Is that correct? Yes, Mr. Q. Square root of the first. Square root of the last. This cancels that, so we got 7 over 2. 7 over 2. We look at the middle term, and what is that sign? Positive. So therefore, my factors are x plus 7/2 squared. So far so good, yeah? Yes, Mr. Q. Number 2. What'd you get for number 2? Let's see. Who haven't we picked on in a while? How about, who? Mario. What'd you get for number 2? Plus minus what? 5. 5. I. That is correct. Addition. Number 3. What'd you get for addition? Pass them one, Mario. Geo. 2i. Hands if you got that. That is correct. How about subtraction? Subtraction. What'd you get for subtraction? Pass someone. Mariah, what'd you get for subtraction? 4. Hands if you got that. That is correct. How about multiplication? Share with your neighbor what you got for multiplication, then Mariah's going to pass someone. Multiplication. All right, Mariah, pass someone. Who? Kelly? -5. Hands if you got that. That is correct. Division. Pass someone, Kelly. Caitlin, what'd you get for division? 1. Remainder of? What is it? There is. Who got a remainder? Let's see. Looks like Enrique's got this one. Enrique, what was the remainder? 4. Hands if you got 4. That is correct, and that is I plus, I minus 2. I minus 2 on the denominator. And Enrique from the corner. Let's go. All right. Number 4, I need an inverse for that one. Check with your neighbor, see what they got. Then Enrique's going to pass someone. Inverse for that one. Pass the one, Enrique. Mario. What's that? Give you some time? Okay. Well, Mario gets that one. I need an inverse for the other one over here. Let's pass this one to Caesar. What is your inverse for this one? What is it? 3x minus 12. Hands if you got that. That is correct. How about this one? Back to Mario. 3x minus 12. Hands if you got that. That is correct. How about this one? Back to Mario. 3x minus 12. Hands if you got that. That is correct. How about this one? Back to Mario. Hands if you got that. That is correct. Send that in, please. Copy the agenda. Warm-up number 72. Done. We're still in the middle of quadratic equations, revisiting that. Today we're going to wrap this up. Or should I say, today we're going to wrap this up. How about that? Let's go. Do you guys know how to beatbox? Yeah? Yeah? Some of you? Yeah? You know how to beatbox? Jesus? No? What? Come on, man. Yeah, I think growing up I didn't have like a lot of electronic devices, so I had to figure out stuff, right? Yeah? All right, all right. So tonight's home play, only 4 problems. Yes? However, last night's home play were how many problems, Enrique? 8. That is correct. Go to Canvas, turn that in, please. It should read 8, completing the square problems. Now, some of you might have gotten stuck towards the end of it. That's fine, but I want to see up to where did you get to. So turn in what you have. I'm going to go over probably 1 or 2 from the home play right now. On Canvas. Also, here's the code to access tonight's home play. Write that down, VSCTI. 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 All right? So, last night's was that. Tonight, woo, let's go. Oh, yeah, we got this. All right? And then get a Cornell note ready, please, so we can get started. Give you some time. Go. All right, so our objective for today, I can solve and graph quadratic equations by completing the square. Did we do that yesterday? Yes. I'm going to go over a couple from the home plate. And by solving it using quadratic formula. We're going to address that today. So before we go there, though, let me go back to last night's home play. There it is. So for last night's home play, we're going to do number 4 together. Okay? So on your paper, copy number 4 again, please. Number 4 from the home plate. Let me zoom into that. Copy number 4. Everybody there? Yes? Everybody copied it? Even if you already did it, we're going to do this one again. Ah. So we're doing number 4 together, yes? All right. Here goes the process. Y'all ready? I'm going to go a little quicker since you already did the practice, just to make sure we got it. Step 1. Make sure it's in standard form from highest to lowest degree and equal to 0. Is it like that? Yes. Step 2. Divide by the leading coefficient. What's my leading coefficient here? It's an invisible 1. So I need to divide the entire equation by 1. Some of you are like, Mr. Q, it's going to give us the same. I know. It's muscle memory. So we got x squared minus 14x minus 38 equal to 0. Next step, eliminate the constant. What is a constant? Remind your neighbor, what is a constant? Remind your neighbor, please. What is a constant? Very good. The number without a variable. What is that number, everyone? Negative 38. Is that correct? So we need to get rid of it. How do we get rid of it? By adding 38 to both sides. We're left with x squared minus 14x, empty space, equals to 38. So far, so good, yes? All right, next. Step 4, complete the square. We need to add what to complete the square right here? Tell your neighbor. What do we add to complete the square? All right. Edwin, what do I add to complete the square right here? negative 14 over and squared. Do that to both sides. Negative 14 over 2 squared. So we end up with x squared minus 14x plus negative 14 divided by 2 is negative 7. What is negative 7 times negative 7? That is 49. And all that equal to 38 plus 49. Can I simplify the right side? Yes. What is 49 plus 38? That's 87. Bring everything else down. X squared minus 14x plus 49. How are we doing? Good? Next, step 5, factor. Can I factor this trinomial using the shortcut? Yes, Mr. Q. Square root of x squared is x times x. Square root of 49 is 7 and 7. But what sign goes in between those two? The sign of the middle term. What is that sign? Negative and negative. And all that equal to 87. What's another way of writing x minus 7 times x minus 7? That's x minus 7 squared equals to 87. Next, we're down to the last 3 steps. At this point, we need to cancel this squared. How do we cancel a squared? What is the opposite of a square? Well, square root. And whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. This cancels that. We're left with x minus 7 equals, and at this point, pencils down, eyes up here. This is where I wanted to get to. Can you find the square root of 87 without running into decimals? No, right? Because it's not a perfect squared number. You can find 81, square root of 81, or square root of 100, but not square root of 87. From this point forward, when you end up like that, for right now, I want you to do this. Plus minus square root of 87. Leave it as is. So do that right now. Write that in there. Plus minus square root of 87. Let's go to the next step. We need to leave x by itself. So what do I do here to get rid of the negative 7? We add 7 to both sides. We end up with x equals positive 7. And then what do we have next? Plus minus square root of 87. So at the end, we need our 2 equations, x sub 1 and x sub 2. So x sub 1, look up, 7 plus square root of 87. 7 plus square root of 87. That's one solution. What's my second solution? 7, but now it's what? Minus square root of 87. And these are my solutions. So it's fine if I leave it like that with a square root like that, Mr. Q? Yes, because that's going to be an exact answer. If you give me decimals, it's going to be approximate. Does that answer some of your questions from last night? Yes, right? Other than that, the other ones, I mean, it's exactly what we did in class. Now, I did do this, though. Look at numbers 5 through 8. I did the equal sign now on the left side, but the process is the same. All right? All right. We good? So with that said, now let's get started. But before we do, send me your notes on what you did for that one we just did, number 4. Send me your notes. All right, so here we go. I can solve and graph quadratic equations. So remind your neighbor the definition for quadratic equations without looking at your notes. Let's see if you remember. What are quadratic equations? Remind your neighbor. Quadratic equations are all right. Good communication. All right, yeah. So quadratic equations are what? 2 variable equations where the highest degree is 2. Okay, we got that. Then from there, I did an intro, look up, with tiles. I did these, and I said this is x squared, this is x, this is 1. Then I gave you guys these, and I said, what is this representing? You said it's representing x squared plus 4x. From there I asked, how can I make this into a bigger square? So I said, I put the square here, 2 rectangles on this side, 2 rectangles down here, and all I need to is do what? Fill in the gap, right? And what do I need to fill in the gap? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why here we do plus 4. Is that correct? Yeah. From there I showed you the other one. I said, what if I start with this? What are you going to show me? Well, 1 big square and 2 rectangles, so I would do square, 1 rectangle here, 1 rectangle there. What's missing here? A 1. So that means we do what? Plus 1. But I said we're not going to do the area model for right now. I just showed you where it came from. Then from there we got to the steps. Here are the 6 steps that we follow for completing the square. And then we did this one, this one, this one. And copy this one on your paper. Example, BAM, Q. X squared minus 8x minus 4 equals y. I'm going to give you a head start. See if you can complete the square. I'll give you, what, 1 minute? Is that good? All right. Copy and... All right. Solve by completing the square. We got x squared minus 8x minus 4 equals y. Tell me what to write first. Franco, what do I write underneath? Before that, equal to 0 the y. So we write x squared minus 8x minus 4 equal to 0. Next step, Evelyn, what do I do next? Before that, divide by the leading coefficient, which is 1. So that is x squared minus 8x minus 4 equal to 0. Continue, Gabriel. What do I do from there? Get rid of the constant, so what do you do? Add 4 to both sides, so we end up with x squared minus 8x, empty space, equal to 4. Continue, Rachel. What do I do from there? Plus what? Negative 8 over 2 squared to both sides, negative 8 over 2 squared to both sides. We end up with x squared minus 8x plus 16 equals 4 plus 16. Can we simplify the right side, guys? Yes, that's 20. And then we have x squared minus 8x plus 16. All right. So far, so good. Hands if you're up to right there. Yeah? Okay. What do I do next, Sebastian? How do we factor? Power Ranger method or the shortcut. What is the shortcut? Square root of the first, we got x times x, and then of the third, so that is 4 and 4. And what sign goes in between? The middle sign, so that's negative, and all that equal to 20, or x minus 4 squared equals to 20. So far so good, yes? Next, what do I do next, Rebecca? Square root to both sides, here and here. So this cancels that. We got x minus 4 equals, how do I write this now, Renzo? Yeah, just a square root, but with what? Plus, minus. That is correct. Plus, minus, square root of 20. Because it's not a perfect squared number. Abby, continue. Add 4 to both sides. We got x equals 4 plus minus square root of 20. And now I just need 2 equations. X sub 1 and x sub 2. Show your neighbor your 2 equations, please. X sub 1 and x sub 2. All right. Give us one, Clarissa. X sub 1. 4 Square root of 20, yes. How about the second one, Annette? Minus square root of 20. Hands if you got that. That is correct. Send that in, please. Let's move on. Copy this one. Example mega Q. Negative 3x squared plus 18x minus 15 equal to 0. Negative 3x squared plus 18x minus 15 equal to 0. Example mega Q. Negative 3x squared plus 18x minus 15 equal to 0. All right, let me send that to your screen. There it is. All right. So, step one. Actually, I'm going to give you a head start, yeah? Yeah, head start. Copy that, go. All right, here we go. Elijah, what is our first step? Before that, what do we need to check? Standard form. Is it in standard form, everyone? Yes, from highest to lowest and equal to 0. We're good. Next, we need to divide by what, Alessandra? Let me go back to the previous one. The previous one, we divided by 1. So this one we divide by what? Negative 3. Negative 3. Hands if you divided by negative 3. Yeah, that's the leading coefficient. That leaves us with x squared minus 6x plus 5 equal to 0. Hands if you're up to right there. Okay? Caesar, continue. What do I do next? Subtract 5 from each side. We got x squared minus 6x, empty space, equal to negative 5. Jesus, add what? Negative 6 over 2 squared to each side, negative 6 over 2 squared to each side. So we end up with x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals to negative 5 plus 9. Can we simplify the right side? Yes, this becomes 4. Bring everything else down. All right, let's factor. Sammy, what do I do? Square root x squared, so that is x times x. And then square root of 9, so that's 3 and 3. And minus because of the sign of the middle. All right, so what's another way of writing that? X minus 3 squared equals to 4. Are we doing good? All right. So, we need to get rid of this. What do I do next? Dana. Square root to both sides. That is correct. Square root. That is x minus 3 equals plus minus. What is square root of 4, everyone? 2. Okay. Next step. Monsen. Add 3 to both sides. X equals 3 plus minus 2. And now we just need our two equations, x sub 1, x sub 2. All right, show your neighbor your two equations, please. Two equations. All right, Maideen, give us x sub 1. 3 plus 2, which is 5. And the second one, Denise? 3 minus 2, which is 1. Hands, if you got that. From 1 to 5, how comfortable are you with this? Now you see the process. Now you see why I had you guys dividing by 1 because of the leading coefficient. Yes? All right. So send me your notes, please, on your screen. Okay. So far so good, yes? So let me recap where we're at. Let me pause the music in the background. Write your utensils down, look up to the screen. Here goes a review of what we've done in the past. Okay? Don't copy this, but pay attention, because tonight you're going to do this for a home play. Here it goes. In the past, we already covered solving quadratic equations 3 different ways. And they were in the final last semester. Yes? Here it goes. And it looks something like this. Solve the quadratic equation by graphing, by square roots, and by factoring. You guys remember that? You're like, oh yeah, Mr. Q, that was my favorite one. Anyways, first way, by graphing. Think about it. How do we graph this? Whenever you see the word graphing, what is the first thing you think of? Tell your neighbor, what is the first thing you think of? Making a what? A table. Very good. You make a table first, substitute values, and then you graph it. It's going to look something like this. Here's my table. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Substitute those values in here. Get the other values. And from there, you just plot your points and graph your graph. Are we there so far? However, where's the solution? Anywhere the graph crosses the x-axis. That's why you need to label that. What's the second way, Mr. Q? The easiest way is square roots. So you rewrite this, but it has to be equal to 0. So here it is. Here's my equation. Equal to 0. Solve for x. That means you need to get x by itself. +4 + 4, square root. And at the end, answers are +2 and -2. Is that the same thing we got over here? Yes, +2, -2. You guys remember this? Yes? All right. Once again, this is probably the easiest method of them all. Last but not least, factoring. Here's the process. You got your equation, set it equal to 0. And then I showed you guys a shortcut whenever it's a binomial or a difference of binomials. Here it is. A difference of squares, my bad. Take the square root of the first, x times x. Square root of the second, that's -2 and +2. Set them equal to 0 and solve, and there you go. Is it coming back a little bit? Yes? Okay. Yeah, this is going to be in the presentation that you wrote the code for at the beginning, yes? Yeah, you have the code, right? Yes, Mr. Q. All right. So that's how many ways so far from last semester? 3. Which one did we cover yesterday and today? Completing the square. So how many different ways now? 4. Once again, by graphing, square root, factoring, and now the fourth one is completing the square. Well, we arrive now to the 5th one. Write this down on your paper. Quadratic formula. Ha, 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 ha. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Your favorite. Here we go. Let me zoom out. By the way, this quadratic formula is actually in my YouTube channel in the background. You're like, oh, snap, I remember. Yeah, right. X equals -b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. That's your quadratic formula. Write it down. And let's write it again underneath that one. X equals -b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Let's write it again. I want to see that you're writing it again a third time. X equals -b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So far we have 3 of them, yes? Let's do another one. How about them apples? X equals -b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. X equals -b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. X equals -b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. X equals minus b plus minus square roots b squared minus 4ac over 2a. X equals minus b plus minus square roots b squared minus 4ac over 2a. X equals minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. I think we got it right. Yeah? Send me a picture of your notes, please. I want to see what you did. All right, flip your notebook over. Tell your neighbor the quadratic formula without using your notes. All right, pretty good. X equals minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Ba is right. All right, so now that we got it, yes, let's do a problem using the quadratic formula. Copy this problem down, please. Example 2. Solve using the quadratic formula. Solve using the quadratic formula. Given x squared plus 16x equals to negative 15. All right, I'm going to write some steps on the right-hand side if you want to write them as well so you can have a little roadmap. Step 1 is the same. It needs to be in standard form, So what does that mean, Mr. Q? That it needs to equal to 0 and from highest to lowest degree. Let's see. Is this in standard form, everyone? No, it's not equal to 0. So how do we get rid of that 15, everyone? To make it 0? Yeah, add 15 to each side. That is correct. So that leaves us with x squared plus 16x plus 15 equal to 0. All right, so step 1 done. Step 2, ID A, B, C, or identify A, B, C. So let me take you back. What is standard form? Well, standard form, it needs to look like this. AX squared plus BX plus C equal to 0. Does this one look like this? All right, so let me write it underneath so you guys can see it. AX squared plus BX plus C equals to 0. Therefore, let's identify all three of them. What is A on this equation, everyone? 1, that is correct. What is B, everyone? 16, so box that, so there's 16. And what is C, everyone? 15. So therefore, now that we have that, I'm going to write it over here. A equals 1, B equals 16, and C equals 15. I'm going to change the A to a blue just so that we can have something different than black right there. Okay, there it is. Step 3. So you know what that means. What does that mean? Quadratic formula. X equals minus B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC over 2A. Let's go. And number 4, substitute and simplify. And we're done. So how do we substitute, Mr. Q? X equals minus parentheses for the b, plus minus square root, parentheses for the b again, minus 4 parentheses for a, parentheses for c, over 2 parentheses for a. So let's substitute values. Where's a at? Well, a is next to the 4 and next to the 2. So a was 1, so it goes 1 here and 1 there. Next, where's b? b is at the beginning and inside of the radical, Mr. Q. So b is 16, so it goes here and here. And last but not least, where's c? c is at the end inside of the radical, which is 15. There it is. And then we just simplify. Here we go. X equals, what is negative times 16? That's negative 16 plus minus square root. 16 squared. 16 times 16 is 256. Okay, 256. And then what is negative 4 times 1? Negative 4 times 15? Negative 60 over 2. We're still not done. You need to continue simplifying. Here we go. We got x equals negative 16 plus minus. What is 256 minus 60? 196 over 2. X equals negative 16 plus minus. What is square root of 196? Bless you. Is it 14? Yes? Okay, 14 over 2. So, here we can actually make our two equations. Look up. Do this. X sub 1 and x sub 2. Y'all ready? Here it goes. First equation. I start with negative 16. And instead of doing plus minus, now I'm only going to focus on 1. Plus 14. And divided by what? 2. So, what is negative 16 plus 14? Negative 2 over 2. What is negative 2 over 2? Negative 1. My second equation, negative 16. But now it's what? Minus 14 over 2. What is negative 16 and negative 14? That's negative 30 divided by 2. What is negative 30 divided by 2? Negative 15. These are my solutions. Ooh, send me your notes on the screen before we close this out. Hold on, let me send you the screen really quick. There it is. Send me your notes, please. And once again, the process for quadratic formula, guys, very simple, fairly straightforward as long as you follow the process. The rest is just computation and simplifying. Okay? Stop right there. From 1 to 5, how comfortable are you with quadratic equations? Yeah? All right. Not bad. 4 5s, 4 5s. I'll stop right there. Make sure you do your home plate tonight. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.